Namaste. Welcome to the fourth episode of Rhythm Vadishyami. In Rhythm Vadishyami series, we try to provide insights on ancient yogic practices. Kundalini is a popular and widely sought after topic among yoga practitioners. However, many aspiring yoga practitioners seem to have only limited understanding and misguided information being spread across about Kundalini. Therefore, it is like a mirage for most of these aspirants. For some, this concept is all about a snake that races through one's spine, and for others, it is some sort of extraordinary bodily sensation experienced through the practice of yoga. However, the reality is completely different from all these misconceptions. So, what is this Kundalini all about? Well, the concept of Kundalini represents expansion of one's consciousness resulting in heightened state of awareness. This is not the case for normal human beings, wherein this potential is dormant and therefore one goes through pain and pleasure from worldly life experiences. Our ancient masters understood this reality and were able to develop certain advanced scheme of practices concerning body and mind to invoke and manifest this dormant potential to help one achieve the highest state of conscious awareness. They symbolize the dormant energy that lies within human to that of a sleeping snake and identified the perineal area in the body as the fundamental base of this energy. Systematic techniques were developed in order to transform this typical animal instinct into a more refined, superior way of perceiving life. These techniques were referred to as Kundalini Kriyas or commonly known as Kriyas. Practice of Kriyas requires a lot of preparation and a very careful approach. However, we get to see Kriya practices being imparted without paying attention to the core requirements and without proper understanding and safeguards. There are several factors one need to consider and apply while undergoing the Kriya practices. I'll try to list a few of them here. Firstly, one's behavior, tendencies, lifestyle and living conditions needs to be considered. Usually, the guru or acharya factors these into account and grooms the practitioner and guides them into the practices. Changes in lifestyle will also be needed from time to time. And usually, the practitioner naturally tends to adopt these changes as they progress. A proper diet is essential and should be strictly followed. Food intake, type, timing, frequency, all of these needs to be carefully managed to complement and support the practices. Changes in diet and food pattern will also be needed from time to time depending on the stage in which the practitioner is in. The practices should be introduced systematically and should be done with discipline, reverence and with regularity. This is not something to be done in groups. During the course of Kriya practices, one should minimize physical and mental activities. These practices should be done under the presence of a guru and it should be done without any external interferences or disturbances. Deep relaxation is essential at the beginning and during the course of the practice as one moves from one stage to the another. Sound sleep and a proper sleeping pattern is also very, very important. The practitioner should have achieved Siddhi in asana and pranayama before undergoing the Kriya practices. One should have sound understanding of adharas, chakras and dhyana lakshyas. Similarly, knowledge of pranas, upa pranas, their bodily functions and position should be essential. Preparation is the key, and at times this preparation could run into several months or even years depending on the practitioner. This is needed in order to enable the practitioner to face the rigors and requirements of the Kriya practices. Beside all this, and most importantly, one needs a guru or acharya to guide and provide direction into these practices and also help the practitioner face any challenges one might encounter during the progress of these practices. Without the support of a guru, these practices could be detrimental and hence needs to be avoided. I hope this has provided some insights into what is Kundalini and the Kriya practices. From all this, it's quite clear that these practices are not straightforward and in fact could also be dangerous if done without proper guidance and understanding. We wish all the aspiring yoga practitioners be blessed with a guru in order for them to be able to undertake the Kriya practices, for these practices can completely change the way one experiences and perceives life. Namaste.